Hello everyone, today we are going to discuss about Thornweight climatic classification. Charles Warren Thornweight was an American climatologist who propounded a classification of climate on the basis of vegetation, and the vegetation itself is an outcome of precipitation and thermal effectiveness. So he first tried to tried to delimit the climate of North America, and later he used that to delimit the climate of entire Earth surface. Now he came up with his theory in two particular time. First, that first theory came up, or the classification came up in the year 1931, which was propounded, which was published in 1933. Later, he had some modifications, and after it improved further in the year 1948. So let us see what are the things that Thornweight has used in his classification scheme, how it is different from Vladimir Köppen's scheme, and how it is relevant to present day weather. So we will start this topic step by step. First we will go through the scheme propounded by him in the year 1931, then we go for 1948, that is the revised one, and try to compare the two modification that he has done. First the original one, again the modified one in 1948. So let's begin the class in a systematic manner. Thornweight 1931 classification put more emphasis on the type of vegetation of a particular area that determines the climate of that area, similar to that of Köppen, but here the parameter used for classifications are precipitation effectiveness and temperature effectiveness. That means these two are directly related to the vegetation of a particular area. Precipitation, how much the amount of rainfall remained for the growth of plant, and the temperature of that area. Okay, so these two has been included, and on that basis in the year 1931 Thornweight has given various letters for various type of climate. Let us begin with precipitation effectiveness, the first one. Okay, here you can see English capital letter from A to E is used to denote the word 5 moisture region. That means, like similar to that of Köppen, 5 moisture region has been delimited, and here but the codes are same, but that vegetation zone or that rain precipitation moisture zone are different from that of Köppen. Here A is for wet, humid, and which is rainforest. Wet, humid, all throughout the year rainfall is there, and PE index is 127. Now let us understand what is PE index, so it is very much easy to you. Precipitation effectiveness, which is known as PE, where is P is total monthly precipitation, monthly how much amount of rainfall is received, and E is the total monthly evaporation, how much evaporation has taken place in that month. Okay, if you divide these two, you will get precipitation effectiveness of that month. Okay, now if you sum the all of the monthly PE value for 12 months, then you will get PE index. Okay, so here if the PE index is more than 100, that means 127, then it is wet, humid, that means rainfall is throughout the year, there is no deficit of moisture in that area. Then B is humid, that is the forest area. Here PE index is 64 to 127 in range. Okay, here also moisture is there, but is comparatively lesser than that of the rainforest area. Okay, then C is moist subhumid climate, that is the grassland, where PE index is 32 to 63. That means the rainfall is a moderate way, no, is not much. From starting from the A climate, the rainfall type of amount of moisture goes on decreasing in the various climate. Now DE is dry climate of dry subhumid climate, which is also known as steppe. Steppe means semi-arid, okay, nearby to that of the arid areas. So that is PE index is 16 to 31. Now last climate that he has tried to come up is the E climate, that is the arid, which is also known as desert climate, where PE index is less than 16. That means total monthly evaporation exceeds the precipitation here. That's why the PE index is very less in these areas. Okay, so this is about precipitation effectiveness. Talking about thermal effectiveness, the second letter used in the classification is also English capital letter. Okay, similar to that of the first precipitation effectiveness, but here the type of thermal climatic zones are different, and here a superscript, that means a dash has been used along with the English letter. You can see A climate A dash, B climate B dash, C C dash. Okay, so this defines the different type of thermal zones, okay, in the found in the earth surface. Now let us understand what actually is thermal effectiveness. Thermal effectiveness, I have also already noted it down. Thermal effectiveness is where is the positive departure of monthly mean temperature from freezing point. How much temperature is recorded from the freezing point. Freezing point, as you know, is 0 degree Celsius or 32 degree Fahrenheit is similar. Okay, so the formula is TE equal to T minus 32 divided by 4. Then you will get the thermal effectiveness or thermal index. Okay, so T is the temperature of the month, monthly temperature of that area, minus 32. 32 is the Fahrenheit. It is always calculated in Fahrenheit. That's why it is minus 32. If you calculate it, then you will get the values. As you can see here, A dash megathermal climate, tropical. That means temperature is high all throughout the year, and TE index is 127. Very high range of temperature is received in that area. Okay, all throughout the year. B dash mesothermal, nearby to the tropical area. That means TE index is 64 to 127. So here also the temperature is very high. C dash is microthermal, TE index is 32 minus 63, moderate. Then D dash is taiga, is began to cool down. That means TE index is 16 to 31. Then E dash climate is tundra, TE index 1 to minus 15. Sorry, 1 to 15. Then F dash is frost. This is the near polar areas. T index is 0. So okay, so that means here the maximum amount of temperature received in the megathermal zone and the minimum temperature received in the F dash frost, or where the T index is 0. So that based upon the thermal effectiveness, these zones are also categorized by Thornwell. Beside this, he also came up with the small letters to denote the seasonal distribution of precipitation in the humidity province. That means in the humidity province, this part, this combination, along with that, most specifically he in order to mention about the type of amount of precipitation, he has given 4 small letters, where R is adequate rainfall in all seasons. That means all throughout the year, if R climate is there along with the this part, then the rainfall is all throughout there. Okay, no month is having deficit. S climate, rainfall deficit in summer. Summer is dry, winter is rainy. W is rainfall deficit in winter. Winter is dry, summer is rainy. D is rainfall deficit in all seasons. That means this is a dry type of climate where there is no much rainfall in throughout the year. Now, based upon these combinations, this combination and this combination, Thornwell has came up with 32 number of climatic zone. Okay, and he has mentioned in the form of a chart. So you can really correlate with these codes along if you understand this and this. Okay, so that would be explaining everything. So if you talk about A is humid, A dash is tropical, and R is adequate rainfall in all season. If you know the chart, you will understand. So you need not to by heart that one. A, tropical wet humid or rainforest. B dash, mesothermal, and R is rainfall also there. A is wet humid or rainforest. C dash is microthermal. R is rainfall also there. Then he went to some other climate, that means the B climate. B climate has, B means humid, A dash is megathermal tropical, R is rainfall also there. So based upon this, there are several combination, all total 32 combination came up, and in D here these three are extreme climate. So here taiga, tundra, and the frost has not been given much more sub classification. Okay, so that is similar to that of Köppen. He also didn't give much more sub classification for the extreme climate. Here also D dash, E dash, and F dash according to the thermal zone. This has been given as separate climate. Okay, no more subdivision. Now Thornwright classification in the year 1948 used some modification. Here in this he proposed a new classification on the basis of concept of evapotranspiration. I think you might be very much aware of the concept evapotranspiration, evaporation plus transpiration from the plants and all. Okay, so that determines the climate of a particular place according to Thornwright. Instead of directly using the vegetation, he has used the concept of evapotranspiration. Here, in order to explain his classification in the year 1948, he used 4 indices, that means 4 parameters to determine the boundaries of different climatic types, that are moisture index, then potential evapotranspiration or thermal efficiency index, aridity and humidity index, and later the concentration of thermal efficiency. So let us discuss what are these and how these are relevant in delimiting the climate of a particular place. Talking about the moisture index is the refers to moisture deficit or surplus, how much amount of moisture is remaining in that area for the plants. So based upon that, 9 humidity province have been defined by Thornwright in the year 1948. Okay, so don't mix this with this part is different. Here modification, as per modification, new scheme came up. Okay, more precisely. So 9 humidity province include A, B4, B3, B2, B1, C2, C3, C1, D, and E. Okay, so these combinations have been given the name of humidity province. Okay, as per moisture index. Now if you want to understand what is the difference between A, B4, B3, and why these are given so many difficult combinations of name, then he has used the calculation for database calculation for moisture index, and here A has a value of 100 or above, that means 100% moisture is there, and whereas E has minus 100 to minus 67.7, that means this is the extreme climate where the moisture is very less. Okay, and from here if you go towards the other codes, then moisture goes on decreasing. Okay, A is 100, then this is less than 100, this is less than this is less than this. Okay, so there are many numbers that has been given by Thornwright, but I have not used in this note, so that it is not much more critical for you to understand. Okay, or as too much of data means it will be very difficult for you to analyze. Now second is potential evapotranspiration or thermal efficiency index. Okay, PE. Now here also what is that, if you want to understand, potential evapotranspiration expressed in centimeter. Okay, that is thermal efficiency index in the 1948 classification. Now based upon that also, this is all about temperature. Okay, temperature and evaporation. Now based upon that also 9 zone has been identified. Here also he used some dash, the superscript A dash, B4 dash, sorry, B dash 4, B dash 3, B dash 2, same like this, but here only dash has been included. Okay, this dash signifies a particular type of thermal characteristic. You can see this in the 1931 classification, A, B, C, D, E were there, okay, that defines the precipitation or humidity index. A dash, B dash, C dash, D dash includes shows the thermal index. Here also the things are almost nearly same. A, B4, B3, B2 are moisture index or humidity index, and A dash, B4 dash, B dash 4, B dash 3 and all are thermal index, okay, on the basis of evapotranspiration. Here directly temperature was used, here evapotranspiration and thermal characteristics are used, okay, in this part. And you can see A dash, in A dash type of climate, this type of climate, potential evapotranspiration are more or less 1140, that means is very high, okay, that means this is the extreme climate, megathermal type, okay. Whereas in E climate, the potential evapotranspiration is more than less than 142, okay. So less than 142 means that evapotranspiration is very less, that means is very cold type of climate, okay, extreme. Now other than that, he also used the aridity and humidity index based on the seasonal moisture adequacy, okay, like this. In 1931 also he has used to denote the seasonal distribution on the basis of small letters. In the year 1948 also he has used the aridity and humidity index. What is that? Aridity or humidity index is used to determine the seasonal distribution of moisture content, okay, how much season wise how much amount of moisture is received in a particular area. Based on the seasonal moisture content, 2 major and 10 subclimate types are identified by Thornweg. I have already given you the chart, you can find out. There are 2 major climate that is given on the basis of seasonal moisture content, moist climate and dry climate, okay, either it is a very wet area or it is a dry area. So here A, B and C2 has been used for moist climate, and C1, D and E are used for dry climate. Along with that, some small subclimates are also associated with the major type, the R, S, W, S2 and W2, okay. R is little or no water deficit. Aridity index is 0 to 10, okay. Here it is not much arid, it is morely having more moisture, okay. This also has been counted on the basis of data, okay. So I here also I didn't give much more data calculation part, only just values for your more understanding. I have not given in the notes, I think I just gave in the chart so that you can understand. As moderate summer deficit, some amount summer rainfall is there, but it is not much high, okay, moderate. So aridity index is 10 to 20. So based upon that, S, W, S2 large summer deficit means summer is almost dry and winter may be wet, okay. Here AI is less than 20, okay, very less. W2 is large winter deficit means winter is almost dry, summer is having a bit rainfall. So here also value is same. So R, S, W, S2 and W2 are used with these combinations, okay. You can add it A, B, C2 and the sub combination can be added with that. Then also the other part, the dry climate C1, D and E. Dry climate is has some sub classification also. D is little or no water surplus. The difference between moist climate and dry climate, here it is in the dry climate humidity index is used, in the moist climate aridity index is used. This means in the moist climate how much the dry is, that how much less amount of moisture is received, that has been used here. And here in dry climate how much arid, so more amount of humidity is received, okay, surplus, that has been used in dry climate. Now dry climate also has sub classification. D is little or no water surplus, that means this area is almost dry, okay, that means 0 to 16.7. there is no water supply, very dry area. And as is winter moisture surplus, that means here moisture is more in winter in the S climate. W summer month moisture is more. S2 large winter surplus. This means in winter the moisture is very high. Okay, in winter almost become more rainfall or something happens in this winter season. W2 large summer supply. In the summer season more moisture is there. Okay, and the values are also been given in the chart. Last but not the least, the fourth index that has been used by Thornweight is concentration. So it's not sanitation, it's concentration of thermal efficiency, percentage of mean annual potential evapotranspiration accumulating in a 3 summer month. Based upon that also, how much evapotranspiration in 3 summer months, because in summer the evaporation and transpiration occurs in a much higher rate. That's why this concentration of thermal efficiency has also been used to determine the climate. But in the scheme he has not given the letters for this, but he has used in some of calculating some of the other indices. Okay, this the concept of concentration of thermal efficiency. So these are the codes and all what are used by Thornweight for the classification of climate. Let me tell you the one thing is that Thornweight classification is a modified and more specialized type of classification, and it is different from Köppen because Köppen directly used the concept of vegetation, precipitation and temperature directly for the classification of climate. But here many smaller components like moisture index, potential evapotranspiration, then thermal index, so many things has been used and to classify a climate of a particular place. That's why his the Thornweight classification of climate is more complex and is not very much popular than in compared to the Köppen's classification. But still there are so many people that are using the classification of Thornweight also. Okay, so I think this is all about what has been given by Thornweight in his classification. If you know the chart systematically, then you can write the combination. Okay, so these combinations are very important, and each and every combination has a particular type of climate and the components that has been used by Thornweight in his classification, that is very important. So this I tried to mention in the class. Hope this is all about all right, and if you have any confusion, let us discuss in our online class. Thank you.